If you're going to do weighted chins or weighted dips, you're going to need a chinning belt or a dip belt. Now, if you go and buy a commercial one, if you can find one, they're going to run you somewhere between $25 to $50. We are going to make one today out of a piece of rope and a carabiner. And the total cost of this, well, the total cost of this was technically $0 because we already had this stuff laying around, but this is probably going to run you somewhere between $5 and $10. Again, less if you already have this material. So let's get started.
Milo, do you want to make a dip belt?
We're going to tie a total of 3 knots. I am not a knot expert, so if I can do this, you can do this. There might be some better knot choices out there, but this will get the job done. And we'll zoom in here so you can see how these knots are tied as well. First thing, at one end of the rope, we're going to tie an overhand loop knot. So you just grab the piece of rope like that, twist it around. Again, we're going to zoom in here. And right there, you've got the first loop that we need.
For a close-up look of the overhand loop knot, we've got a strand of rope right here folded back on itself. I'm going to fold this end around over like this, and I'm going to reach through here and pull that loop right through there. It's going to pull through, and there's your loop right there.
The next knot we're going to tie is called an alpine butterfly knot. I think it's also called a butterfly loop or just a butterfly knot. So you're going to start with the end that already has a loop. And usually one of the trickiest things about making this belt, and it's still not very tricky, is just kind of figuring out the right lengths so that the belt fits you. So I'm going to give you some approximate reference points, but you may have to play with this a little bit. You may have to tie and untie a knot more than once to get the right length for you. So I'm going to take this loop, I'm going to kind of pin it to my side over here, and then, there's probably better ways to do this, but again, this will work. I'm going to wrap the rope around until it makes it about 3/4 of the way around me. So roughly, that's going to be at my belly button. Then I'm going to pin this part of the rope, and I'm going to set this on top of my hand. That point right there is sitting on top of my hand. And now we'll show you how to tie the alpine butterfly knot, because this one is a little bit tricky. You're going to wrap the other piece of rope around your hand. Again, it's going to be hard to see till we zoom in. You're going to wrap the other piece of rope around your hand once, and then twice, and then you're going to grab the middle piece right here. There's 3 strands right now. You're going to grab the middle one, pull it underneath that one, and then you're going to wrap it back around, kind of pin it to your hand, and then tuck it under the entire thing. And you're going to pull that all the way through. And it's going to look like a big mess, but it's going to turn out to be just fine. You kind of let it go like that. Pull on the sides a little bit. This may not be the prettiest butterfly loop knot, alpine butterfly knot, whatever you want to call it in the world, but it's going to work. So now you've got a loop in the middle of your rope, and that's exactly what we need.
Let's take a closer look at the alpine butterfly knot. You've got that strand of rope sitting across your hand. You're going to wrap it twice more around your hand. Loosely is probably a good idea. So now you've got 3 strands sitting on your hand. You want to grab the middle one, and you're going to pull it through. You're going to loop it back over both of them, and then you're going to stick it underneath both of them and pull it through again. At that point, you can let go of everything else and tighten up both on the loop itself and on the 2 pieces of rope, and you've got yourself a very nice, very serviceable loop knot.
So now we have 2 knots. We've got our overhand loop knot at one end, and we've got our alpine butterfly knot here. From this point, you're going to continue using your body as a reference point. So we're going to measure around. I'm going to place this knot on my belly button. So the edge of that knot is on my belly button. I'm going to reach around with this piece of rope, and I'm going to go right back to my belly button, maybe just a little bit further. I'm going to keep my fingers on that point, and I'm going to tie another overhand loop knot. That was the knot that we tied first. So that's the end of my loop. Again, I'm going to wrap it around. And now, believe it or not, with the exception of adding this carabiner, our belt is done. Let's see how we're going to use it. So you've got your belt. You've got the 2 knots at the end, the 2 loops at the end, and 1 loop in the middle. Ditch the carabiner for now. You're going to wrap the belt around your waist. And you're going to pick that carabiner back up again. And you're going to feed that carabiner through the first loop over here. And this is how the belt kind of cinches tight. Okay? So now I'm going to take that carabiner, I'm going to feed it through whatever plate I'm using, or plates. Feed it through the hole in the plate, attach it back to our loop knot over here, the alpine loop knot, and we're ready to do some dips. The weight itself helps it snug up so it's not going to go anywhere. You can do dips, and of course, you can also do some chins. Hope this helps.